Hello guys, welcome to the fourth and final part of our project, and in this fourth and final part we are going to be creating our last subsection, and they are going to be the explore properties in best places section and also the download free app for Android and iPhone section. And in this section we are going to have a couple of cards, and in the cards we are going to have the property location, which is the name, and also the property amount and the property image. Then in the app section, we are going to have our header text here that says download free app for Android and iPhone. And also we are going to have two links for downloading the app in either iPhone or Android. Then at the right side, we are going to have this image that indicates that this section is for downloading our app. Then down here, we are going to have our footer that says 2024 therefore all rights reserved. Then after that, we are going to be adding our media query to make the website responsive, and also JavaScript to make the sidebar work, so we can be able to toggle the sidebar with our JavaScript. And in order to do that, we need to add an event listener to the button right here to be able to toggle the sidebar with this button, and also be able to close the sidebar with this button. And also we are going to be able to close the sidebar by clicking on the website right here. And after that, we're going to add some JavaScript to our checkboxes to be able to check only one at a time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really means the world to me. So let's go ahead and get started. Firstly, to create the first section there, the explore places section, to create this section, we need a section tag. Down here, we're going to create a section tag, and it's going to have a class, and the class here is going to be container to make it responsive, and the main class, which is going to be explore best places section. Then in here we're going to have our header once more, and it's going to have a class. The class here is going to be header center. Then here we're going to have our h1 tag that will hold the header text. The header text here is going to be explore. We need to add the class first. The class is going to be head text, and in here we're going to have our text. It's going to be explore properties in best places. Then next we're going to have our p tag that holds the dummy text. It's going to have a class. Well, let's give it a class, and the class here is going to be wrap text center. And let's copy and paste our dummy text. And this is it right here. I'm just going to copy and paste it in here. Now let me open up the website and see what that looks like. As you can see, this is our text down here. That is just what we want. Next, we're going to go ahead and create the cards, and we need a container for the cards. Our cards are going to be inside a main tag, which is going to have a class, and the class is going to be best places cards container. Then in here we're going to have an anchor tag. Our cards are going to be inside an anchor tag this time around, and for the anchor tag we need a class, and the class here is going to be card. And in here we're going to have our image, which is the property image. We need a class for it. The class is going to be place image, which is place img. Then here I'm going to add my image, and next we're going to type in the property details, which is the name and the property amount. And in order to do that, we need a span here to contain the both of them, and it's going to have a class. The class is going to be best place right. This is going to be right side. Then in here we're going to have our two texts. The first one is going to be a h2 tag, and it's going to have a class which is going to be best place. Let's use the best place location, and in here we're going to have our text. First location there was New York, and next we're going to have our property amount. Let's call the class best place quantity. Then here we're going to have three properties. which is the property amount. And let's see what that looks like. As you can see, this is our card right here. It's beginning to look beautiful. Then after that, we are going to add some CSS to make our card look just like what we want. But we are going to duplicate them by copying and pasting a few more times to achieve the number of cards we have right here. As you can see, we have quite a lot of them. And next, we're going to head over to CSS to add some styles to our card. And here, what we need is to type in the explore places container first, explore best place section, and we need display flex in here. Next, we're going to need align items center and justify content center. The next, we're going to need flex direction, and it's going to be column. And next, we're going to have, let's add padding in this section. Padding here is going to be 4 rem and 0px. That means there's going to be padding at the two sides. Sorry, there's going to be padding at the top and bottom, but there won't be any padding at the two sides. That is the 0px right here. Actually, you can just use 0 rem if that's better. Next, we're going to add height, and height here is going to be 100%, and that is it for our section. Next, we're going to go ahead and style the cards container. The cards container class was best places cards container, and in here we need display grid just like before. And next, we're going to need grid template columns, and it's going to be repeat then auto fit. And in here we're going to add min max, that is the min and max width. Min max here is going to be 220px, then an fr. And next, we're going to add our gap to add some space in between the cards. Gap here is going to be 20px, and we need margin top, and margin top here is going to be 1.5 rem. Then after that, we're going to add width, and the width here is going to be 100% to make the cards stretch to the full width of the website. And next, we're going to add those best places to target the card directly. Here we're going to have best places card container, and then we're going to target the card. Let's type in dot card. Here we need display flex, and we also need align items center. And next we need gap, and our gap here is going to be 10px. We're also going to have border radius here to make it look curvy. And the border radius here, let's set it to border radius. Let's use border radius 100. And next, we need to use 100px. Let's see if it's available. Let us head over there to the variables. It's not available. Let's see what our card looks like to make sure it looks good. That does not look good. We need to make sure these classes are available in HTML. You can just copy the classes and paste them in there in our HTML to make sure they are available. So just copy this and paste it in the search bar. It's available. Let's go ahead and continue with our styles since everything is okay. Here we can just change this to 100 once more, and that should do it. As you can see, this is just what we want. Next, we are going to add min width, and min width here is going to be 200px, and we're going to go ahead and style the link directly. We're going to say best place link, best place link, and we need text decoration here, and it's going to be none because our objects and elements are inside an anchor tag. So in order to remove this underline right here, we need to add text decoration none, and we're going to grab this class and paste it in our anchor tag. So we're just going to add this as a second class right here, and that should fix it. As you can see, the underlines are gone. Then after that, we need to style the best place image because it's quite big right now. To style the image, we need to type in its class. We're going to say place img, which is place image. And for the image, we need to reduce the width and the height. I'm going to set the width to 65px, and I'm going to set the height to 65px. And after that, we need to set object fit to cover to make the image responsive. And next, we need the best border radius, and the border radius here is going to border radius 100 to make it round. And next, we are going to style the border radius right side the best place right side, which is the side, the container that holds the name and the property amount. As you can see, the border radius here is not looking quite nice. The problem is our border radius right here. It's 100%. We need another border radius this time around, and our border radius we need to use 100 px instead of 100%. So we're just going to set this to px, which is a new variable. And down here, we're going to change the border radius here to border radius px, and that should fix it. As you can see, it's now fixed. Next, we're going to go ahead and tell our right side. As I said, it's the container that holds the place name and the place property amount. We need the best place right here, and we're going to say right side. We're going to set width here to 100%, and next we're going to start the best place location, which is the location text that says New York. Here we need best place location, and here we're going to set the color to text head color, and we're going to set font size here to 20 px to make the text a little bit smaller, and set font weight to 500 to make the text thicker. Next, we're going to set style the best place quantity, which is the text that says three properties. So we're just going to type in best place quantity, and in here we need font size to make it smaller. We're going to set it to 13.6. Let's use 5 px. The next we're going to set color, so general. We need general gray right here, general gray, and let's see what that looks like. As you can see, this now looks nice. We just have to copy and paste this a few more times or have as many cards as we have here. If you notice, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 more of them. So we're just going to copy and paste them 12 more times. Just copy this and paste it 12 more times. 7 8 9 10 11 12, and that should do it. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it now looks quite nice, but it seems we still need one more. Yes, we need one more. So let's just paste one more, and that should do it. So what we have to do now is change the property location and the amounts, and everything should look nice. So let me set this side by side to make things easier. The next location there is Texas, so let's set this to Texas. This is going to be Texas. And next we're going to have Colorado. This is going to be Colorado. This is going to be not Rado. And next we're going to have Jacksonville. This is going to be Jacksonville. And next we're going to have Denver right there. That is Denver. And next we have California. This is going to be California right here. And next we need Houston. This is going to be Houston. And next we need Los Angeles. Here we're going to have Los Angeles. Let's just change the property amount as we go. This is going to be 23, just random numbers. Here we're going to have 223. Here we're going to have 453. And let's continue. The next one there is Philadelphia. And here we're going to have Phil. This is going to be Philadelphia. And next we need San Diego. Right here we're going to have San Diego. Then change the property amount. Then after that we have Phoenix. This is going to be Phoenix. and change the property amount. And after that, we have Oklahoma City. This is going to be Oklahoma City. And lastly, we have Seattle. We have Seattle right here. Change the property amount. And that should do it. Let's see what our own looks like. Seems like I forgot to change the image. Let's just change them to different images once more. We still have about 5 of them left, and let's use image 3 here, and here we're going to use image 1 once again. This is going to be .png, and next we're going to use image 2, and after that let's use image 7. Here we're going to have image 2, and that is all. It seems some of them are still using the same images, but that is not a problem at all. We can also go ahead and continue with the next section. So let's separate this. I'm going to keep this right here. And for our website, we need to open it up fully. As you can see, we're done with this section. Let's go ahead and build our app section next. For the app section, we need a section tag once more. And our section tag is going to be right down here. For the section tag, we need a class, and our class here for the section tag is going to be, let's see what it looks like. Download free app for Android and iPhone. For the section tag, we need a class which is going to be, let's call it download app section. Then in here, we're going to have a div which is going to have a container class, and it's going to also have a main class which is going to be download app container. Then after that, we need a div, and this div is going to have a class once more which is going to be download app left. That is the left side of our section, and it's going to have a header, and this header is going to have a p tag right inside it. Once more, we need our describer, and this time around we're going to give this a separate class which is going to be download describer. And in here we need our text which is going to be download apps. Let's change this to lowercase, and after that we need our h1 tag. That is the tag that has the text that says download free app for Android, and this is going to be lowercase, and iPhone. Let's change this to lowercase, and we're going to give it a class, and the class here is going to be download app head text. Change this to lowercase, and next we need another p tag which is going to hold our dummy text. It's going to have a class also. The class here is going to be wrap text start. This time around, I'm just going to copy and paste this text. It's going to be start. I'm just going to copy and paste it. You can generate a dummy text. If you can't type all of that, just generate a dummy text by typing in rm20 or any amount of dummy text you need. And I'm just going to paste mine in. Next, I'm going to create a span, and the span is going to hold our links down here. So after the header, just down here, we're going to create a span. It's going to have a class, and the class is going to be download link container. Then in here, we're going to have the links. They are actually anchor tags, and here we're going to remove this to prevent it from loading up to another page. And we're going to add a class, and the class here is going to be app img container. Then in here we're going to add our objects, which is an image that I already have. You can use any image at all that says download on Android or download on iPhone. Here I'm going to type in assets, then image, and I'm going to get my Google Play image right here. You can also copy and paste this and then change things around for the iPhone. So for the iPhone, we just need another anchor tag down here. And this time around, I'm going to use a different image. This time around, we need the App Store image. This is going to be App Store.png. Actually, let's use App Store 2.png. That is the image we need. And next, we're going to create our section rights, which is the section that holds this image right here. So to create the section rights, we need a div after this span. Actually, it's going to be after this div, and it's going to have a class. The class is going to say download section right, and in here we're going to have the image. The image is going to be an image I already have. As I said before, you can use any image at all. And here I'm going to use app.png, which is the image, and let's see what that looks like. As you can see, everything we've created in HTML is now right here. Our images link and also the image here in the right section. So let's go ahead and add some CSS. But before that, we need to create our copyrights down here, the copyright section. So to create our copyright section, what we need is to come down here and create a div, and it's going to have a class. The class here is going to be copyright, and in here we're going to have a p tag. It's going to say, the text in here is going to be, we need the and sign. It's going to be and copy, and copy. Then we're going to type in our text, which is 2024 devcore all rights reserved, and let's see what it looks like. This is it down here, just what we want. Now let's add some CSS to make our last section and the copyright section look much more better. For the CSS in the app section, we're going to first call out the section container name, and for the section container name, we're going to need our download app section class, download app section, and in here we're going to change the background color by typing in background, and we're going to set the color to blue soft, which is a variable I already have, blue soft. And if you're wondering what all these colors are, they are actually variables, and I have already explained in the first part of our project. You can copy the links to the variable in the description below, and that should make things much more easier. And next, we're going to add padding top, and the padding top here is going to be 1 rem. Then after that, we're going to type in our download left section. This is another class. It's going to be download section left. In here we need display flex, and next we need align items start to set all objects to the left side of the website. And this time around we're going to need flex. This is going to be start right here, and next we need flex direction here, and it's going to be column. Then next we're going to add some gap so we can have some space in between the objects in the left section. Here the gap is going to be 30 px, and we need to type the describer next. I'm just going to type in download describer. The download describer is this button like thing here that says download apps. It's not actually a button, it's just a p tag. And for the download describer, we need a background color, and the background color here, is going to be blue 400. And next we need color here, and our color is going to be white, which is another variable, and margin bottom here is going to be, let's set it to 10 px. Then next we're going to target our download head text. Here we need the download head, download app head text. But before we continue, let's see what our download describer looks like. As you can see, it's now looking quite nice. So let's go ahead and style our head text. For the head text, we need to change the color. So text head color, which is another variable. And next, we need to set the font size to 40 px to make the text much more bigger. And we need margin, and the margin here is going to be 0 px, 0 px, 8 px, and that is to put some space below the text. Next, we need line height, and the line height here is going to be 50 px. Then after that, we need download link container. Download link container. And here we're going to need display flex to set the two links side by side. We also need align items to make sure that happens. Align items here is going to be center. And next we need gap to put some space in between them. And the gap here is going to be 10 px. Then we're going to set margin top to 10 px. Then after that, we're going to style the image container, typing in app img container. But firstly, let's see what the links look like. As you can see, they are now side by side, just what we use display flex for. And for the app img container, we're going to need border, and the border here is going to be 3px. The app img container, which is the app image container, is the container that holds the download image right here. They are actually links. And for the app image container, we also need, let's finish the border right here. We need to set it to solid, and the color is going to be blue 400. Then next, we are going to add padding to the image container. The padding here is going to be 3px, and we need border radius to make it look curvy. And the border radius here is going to be border radius 10, which is 10px border radius. And next, we need to set the width to 190px, and the height here is going to be 60px. After that, we need to set some transition for the hover effect. Transition here is going to be transition, which is a variable. If you notice right here, we have a hover effect in the links. Whenever we hover on them, the border color changes. And now let's see what our own links look like. As you can see, they are looking quite nice, but the image is still out of shape. We just need to add some styles to the image to make them look much more better. So down here for the image, but before the image, let's add our hover effect to the link. We need app img container, then we're going to add hover. And on hover, we are going to change border color to blue 200. Then after that, we're going to style the image by typing in download link container, and we're going to target the image right in front of it. Next, we're going to set the height of our image to 100%, and width of our image is going to be 100%. Then we need object fits to cover to make the image responsive. And let's see what our image looks like. As you can see, it now looks quite nice and identical to what we have in the demo. Now we are done with the left side. Let's go ahead and style the right side of our section. To style the right side, we're just going to get down here and type in .download section right. Then we're going to target the image. And for the image, we just need to set width to 100%. And let's see what it looks like. It seems there's a problem because this image is supposed to be at the right side of our left section. So what we have to do is make sure the class is available in HTML. This is the class we are looking for right here. All you have to do is copy this and search for it here, and as you can see, it's not available, which means there is a problem. We just have to change it up here. Download app container. So what we have to do is make it available here and add some styles to it. For the download app container, we just need to add display flex and we need align items center. We also need justify contents, which is going to be space between. And now let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it now looks quite nice. Let's compare it to what we have here. This is looking nice, but we still need some space in between our items right here. And for the space, we need to make sure our download section left is also available. It seems to be the problem. As you can see, it's not available. Let's just search for it. This is our left section right here, download section left. So just change this to download section left and that should fix it. So as you can see, it now looks much more better and just like what we have right here. So for the copyright section, just going to add a few styles down here. For the copyright section, we need to change the background by typing in our class right here. Here we're going to have copyright, and firstly we're going to change the background to grade 300, and here we need text align center. Then we're going to set padding here to 10 px, and next we're going to set the color to white. And after that, we can use our white variable. And next we're going to need our font weight to be much more bolder, so we're going to set the font weight here to bold. And next we need font size to make the text smaller. So font size here is going to be 13 px, and let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it now looks quite nice, unlike before. So as you can see, we are completely done with our website. All we have to do now is add the media query to make it responsive. If you notice on the navbar, it's not responsive at all. It squishes together and nothing disappears on smaller screens. So what you have to do is add our media query right here after the copyright styles. So this is going to be our first media query. We're going to say at media, and here we're going to have max width, and the max width is going to be 1380 px. This means that any style inside here will not be visible, and you won't notice it until we collapse our screen below 1380 px. And in here we're going to have a couple of styles, but we need to copy and paste this to make our media query much more easier, but you're still going to need quite a few of them. So in here we're going to have that container, and padding here is going to be 32 px and 60 px. Then next we're going to set the hero text to reduce the font size. We need hero header text right here. It's actually going to be outside the container, not inside it. That is the error. So for the hero header text, we need font size, and the font size here is going to be 32 px. Then we're going to move on to our second section. So in the second media query, not second section, in the second media query, we're going to have the max width become 1280 px, and here we need to set container padding to another much more smaller padding. This time around, we need to set padding to 32 px and 40 px. We're just reducing the space at the sides of our container. And after that, we're going to have some more styles inside this media query. The next style here is going to be hero section container. Here we need hero section container. This is the class right here, and we need to set the height to 50 VH to make the height smaller on the smaller screen. And next, just outside here, we're going to set property sale cards, which is another style, property sale cards, and we're going to change the grid. This grid is going to be repeat. We're just changing the size on a smaller screen for our cards. The cards grid we've already created before. We're going to have auto fit, and we need min max once more. The min max here is going to be 400 px and 1 fr. I'm just going to copy this because we are still going to use it a few times. Just copy this, and we're going to use them later. Next, we're going to style the property sale name. Here we need property sale name. This is going to be sale name. Let's make sure this class is available right here in the CSS. Let's search for it in HTML. Okay, it's available. There is no problem. So for the property sale name, we need font size, and the font size is going to be 13px on the smaller screen. And next, we need the property sale price. The property sale price here, we're also going to reduce the font size, and the font size is going to become 18px. Then after that, we're going to start the search cost form. If you notice, the search cost form is not responsive at all. The search cost form is this cost form up here. If you notice, if we just collapse the screen a little, it starts getting disarranged. This is what I'm talking about. The button is still bigger and nothing changes except the width of our form itself. So we're just going to target the search cost form, and we're going to change the width to 90%. Then after that, we're going to move on to our next media query. This time around, our media query is going to become 920px. Sorry, 928px. And in here, we're going to style our links container to make it disappear on this media query. If you notice, this does not look nice because the links are supposed to disappear on smaller screen, just like what we have right here. So in order to achieve that, we need to target the links container in here. We're going to say links container, and we're going to set it to display none to make it disappear, and that looks much more nicer. So next, we're going to style the property nav btn. This is the property nav btn right here, and for the property nav btn, we need to set it to display none, and we're going to change our container. Before that, the container here, we're going to set the container right here to padding, and the padding is going to be increased to 70px. That is the padding at the side. It's going to be increased to 70px. Then next, we're going to start the sign-in link. Sign-in link is the link we have right here. So what we have to do is make the link disappear. So we have to target the sign-in link, and we're going to target the p tag directly and set it to display none. And after that, we need to style our add icon link. If you notice, that is the link we created at the first part of our video. Now we're going to bring it back by setting it to display block, and let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it's all beginning to look much more nicer. Next, we're going to style the search cost form. Here, we're going to increase the width. Here, the search cost form width is going to become 100%. Then after that, we're going to style our head text. The head text are these texts you can see right here that says choose property type in other text. We're going to make them smaller on the smaller screens. So for the head text, we're going to reduce the font size, and it's going to become 23px. And next, we're going to style the hero header text. We need to reduce the font size, and it's going to become 35px. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it's now looking much more smaller. Then after that, we're going to style the sidebar toggle button. That is the button that helps us toggle the sidebar and make it reappear on our screen. Here, the sidebar toggle button is going to receive a class, a style, and it's going to become display flex. Then next, I'm going to style the download app container. Download app container is this container right down here. As you can see, it doesn't look quite nice. What we have to do is set the flex direction to column. So we just have to type in download app container and set flex direction here to column. Then after that, we need justify content, and it's going to become center here instead of space between. Then next, we're going to need cap, and it's going to become 2px. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, this is looking much more nicer. Then after that, we're going to move on to our second media query. Sorry, not second. This is actually going to be the fourth media query. And here we're going to need 760px. For the 760px media query, we need quite a few styles in here. The first one is going to be container, and we're going to be reducing the container padding. This time around, we're going to reduce it. We're going to reduce the padding here to 20 px. Then after that, we're going to style the hero head text once more. Here we need the hero head text. This is going to be hero head text. That's actually header text. And in here we need font size, and the font size is going to become 30 px. And after that, we're going to style the hero description. If you notice, it's looking quite big and it does not look nice. You just need to reduce the hero description font size. So here we're just going to type in hero description, and the font size here is going to become 22 px. And after that, we're going to style the checkboxes row. This is the checkboxes row. If you notice, the checkbox looks okay, but once we get down to the smaller parts, we need to make it look just like what we have right here in the demo. They are now separate and far from each other. So to do that, we just need to come here and add our styles. We're going to set border to none here, and gap here is going to become 50 px. And after that, we're going to style the search cost form to make it look just like what we have right here. For the search cost form, let's type in the style class, and for the search cost form, we need width to become 100%. And here, flex direction here is going to become column. And next, we need padding, and the padding here is going to become 10 px. Then after that, we need height, and our height here is going to become fit content. Now let's see what our search cost form looks like. As you can see, it's looking quite nice, but we still need to add some styles to make it look exactly like what we have right there. So the next thing we need is the icon input container. Icon input container. And for the icon input container, we are going to set flex direction. Actually, what we need here is not flex direction. All we need here is width. Let's just set width to 100%. And next, we're going to have hero search input, which is the search input itself. This search input right here. If you notice, it has a border on the smaller screen. So we're just going to add the border and the other styles we have right there. So we're just going to type in hero search input. And for this hero search input, we're going to add border, and the border here is going to be gray 100. And next we need to set the height to 50 px, and let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it now looks quite nice, but it seems there is a problem with the border. Let's see what the problem is. The problem is that I did not add the other attributes of the border. We need to set it to 1 px solid, and that should fix it. Next, we're going to type in our input btn container, which is the button that says search. If you notice, it doesn't look quite nice. And for the button container, we need to type in flex direction here, and it's going to become column. And next, we're going to set height to fit content. Next, we need width to become 100% for the button container. And after that, we're going to target the button itself by typing in hero search btn. Here we need width to become 100%, and height, this is going to be 100%, and height here is going to become 50 px. Now let's see what our button looks like. As you can see, this now looks exactly like what we want. That looks nice, but it seems there is too much space in between our text. Let's see what the problem is. Let's target the description and remove the margin bottom. So margin here is going to be 0 px. Let's just set margin to 0. That doesn't look nice. What you have to do is set it 0 px, 0 px, and 8 px. Let's see what that looks like. As you can see, that now looks much more better. But we still have to remove the margin we have under this text, the hero header text itself. So just copy this and paste it here once more, and that should fix it. Let's see. it doesn't look quite nice because it seems there's a little more margin under that. Let's change it to 20, and that is it. Next, we're going to increase this one also. Let's set this one to 20. We need more under here. Let's make it 25, and that is perfect. After that, we're going to, let's see, our search input now looks beautiful. Next, what we have to do is style the explore cards container. Let's see what the explore cards container look like. This is our explore cards container. Let's see, it should be up there. This is it, explore featured agents. So for the explore cards container down here, I'm going to type in explore cards container, and for this explore cards container, we just need to change the grid, just as I said before. We need to get the grid from up here to make things much more easier. Just copy this, and we're just going to change things around, paste it in here, and that should make things easier. Here we're going to change this to 300px, and we need this 2 more times, but I'm going to change the class. Paste this 2 more times. They're going to be for different card containers. This time around, we need the review cards container, and next we're going to need the property sale cards, and we're going to remove this container. That is not what the class is. Let's make sure the classes are available to avoid any errors. So just copy this and search for it. As you can see, it's available. And next, you have to copy this and also search for it to make sure it's available. Search for this, and that is just what we want. Next, we're going to go ahead and continue with our media queries. The second media query there is property price. And for the property price, we are going to reduce the font size, and the font size here is going to become 22px. And after that, we're going to target our property card ID. Here I just going to type in property card ID, and for the property card ID, we need to set flex direction to volume, and we need to set height to 100%. And after that, we're going to style the property card left. So that's going to target property card left, and here we need width, and the width is going to become 100%, and height here is going to become 200px. Then after that, we're going to start the property card right. You can just copy this and use it once more. That should make things easier. This is going to be property card right, and for the property card right, you just need to set the gap to 15px. That should reduce the gap in between our property card right items. Next, we're going to start the download link container, which is our last section. Here we're going to target the download link container, and here we're going to set flex direction to column. I think we've already done that before. We don't need to do this again, but we need to change the gap in between our download app container. Grab this and paste it in here. We need this to be right here. Then we're going to change the gap here to 20px. Now let's see what it looks like. As you can see, that looks much more nicer. There is no more gap in between our image and the text side. That is just what we want. Now let's go ahead and complete our media query. Next, in the media query, what we need is our app image container, which is this app image right here. So for the app image container, we just need to increase the width and the height. So this time around, the width is going to be 170px, and the height here is going to be 60px. So next, we're going to start the download head text to make it much more smaller. If you notice, it's quite big right now. So we're going to target the download app head text and reduce the width to, we're going to reduce the font size to 25px, and line height here is going to be reduced to 35px. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it now looks nice. Then next I'm going to start the logo text. So here our logo text, I'm going to reduce the font size. The logo text is the name right here that says DevCo. So all we have to do is add font size here, and the font size is going to come 25 px. Now let's go ahead and, as you can see, the logo text is now smaller. Let's go ahead and style our last media query. So for the last media query, we just need 460 px, and in here we're going to have just two styles. The first one is going to be hero header text. This is going to be hero header text, and in here we're going to have font size, and the font size is going to be 24 px. Then next we're going to style our hero description, and the hero description here is going to have font size, and the font size here is going to be 16 px, and margin here is going to be 0, 0, 0, and 2 px. Now let's see what everything looks like. As you can see, everything now looks quite nice. This is just beautiful. But our sidebar does not work yet. All we have to do is add some JavaScript to make our sidebar work. And if you notice, this icon here still looks very, very small. We just need to change that. Let's search for it in HTML. This is our icon right here, sign in link. And in the media query, this is our sign in link right here. And we just need to target the icon itself. So in the media query, this is our sign in link. All we have to do is paste this in here and increase the font size. Let's see what the font size of the add icon link looks like. This is the add icon. It's 25 px, so we need to make it exactly like what we have right there. Paste this in for the sign-in link, and that should increase the font size. As you can see, it now looks quite nice. That is just what we want. Now let's go ahead and add our JavaScript so we can be able to toggle the sidebar with this button right here, and to make sure that only one checkbox can be checked at a time. As you can see, this looks quite wrong. Two of them should not be able to be checked at the same time, so we can correct this with JavaScript. Let's head over to app.js and add some scripts to our code. So firstly, we are going to get our classes by typing in const sidebar. This is going to be sidebar btn, which is the sidebar toggle button, document dot query selector, and here we're going to have sidebar toggle btn. You can also copy and paste this and change this around. For the second one, we're going to need our close btn, which is the close button for closing the sidebar. Then after that, we are going to change the class. The class here is going to be close btn, and the second one is going to be sidebar. That is the sidebar class itself. And here we just need to change the class here to sidebar. Then after that, we have windows. This windows here is for clicking and closing the sidebar. It's going to have an event listener, and here the class is going to be body. Remove this full stop, we don't need it for windows. And next we're going to type in sidebar shadow. This is going to be sidebar shadow. That is the shadow that toggles whenever the sidebar is visible. And here the class is going to be shadow overlay. Now let's go ahead and add our JavaScript code. So here we need to add our sidebar event listener. We're going to say sidebar dot add event listener, and it's going to be click. In here we're going to have our function, and our function here is going to be event. Then in here we're going to have event dot stop propagation. What event dot stop propagation does is to make sure and ensure that whenever we click on a link or this button, it doesn't trigger other event listeners. It only listens to the event of the button we clicked and not other event listeners. That actually helps prevent most mistakes, which will cause other event listeners to be triggered whenever we click on these buttons or on the close button. So what we have to do is style the sidebar button next, so we can be able to toggle the sidebar. And for the sidebar button, we also need an event listener, and it's also going to be click. And here we're going to create a function, and the function is also going to be event once more. In here, we're also going to use events that stop propagation once more. Then after that, we need to toggle our sidebar, and to toggle the sidebar, we just need to add sidebar.classList dot add show sidebar. This means that whenever we click on this sidebar button, which is the button right here, it's our button right here, it's toggle the class, the show sidebar class, and let's make sure the class is available in CSS. This is our style right here that changes left to -0px, and let's see what the problem is. It doesn't seem to work. I think the problem is actually from CSS. If you notice, in the part 1 of our project, we set sidebar overlay container to display none. So just remove this display none and let's see what happens. So when we remove the display none, you can notice that now we can toggle the sidebar. But one problem is that there is a big space up here. All we have to do is head over to HTML, and there is a container in our shadow overlay. Remove the container and that should fix it. As you can see, this now looks quite nice, but we can't close our sidebar yet. We still need to add some JavaScript to make that possible. So in app.js, we need to complete our JavaScript. The next thing we need for the JavaScript is our windows.style.overflow y, and we are going to set it to hidden. This means that whenever we toggle the sidebar, it won't be possible to scroll on the windows. If you notice, it's possible to scroll now, but let's remove this. Whenever the sidebar is open, it's still possible to scroll here, which does not look very nice. But if you like this, you can leave it just as it is. But if you don't want to scroll on your windows when the sidebar is toggled, you can just add this JavaScript, and that should make it impossible to scroll whenever the sidebar is open. So next, we're going to add our Windows event listener to close the sidebar. So down here, we're just going to type windows.add event listener. Always add an event listener to the body tag. And here we're going to add click as the event listener. Then next, we're going to add close sidebar. That's the function we haven't created yet. We are going to create it later on. We don't need this, remove this. Next, we're going to type in our sidebar shadow. This is our sidebar shadow function, which we have not yet created. And for the sidebar shadow, we need to add sidebar class list.toggle show. It's going to toggle a class list, which is a class, and here we're going to add show shadow. This means that whenever we click on this sidebar button, which is the toggle button for the sidebar, if the sidebar is visible, then the shadow will also be visible. So down here, we're just going to add our sidebar shadow toggle function, which we're going to create later on. Next, let's go ahead and create the sidebar shadow function. Down here, we're going to have the function, and the function for the sidebar shadow, we're going to type in sidebar shadow toggle function, and in here, we're going to add sidebar. Let's say sidebar.class list dot remove. We don't actually need the sidebar right here. What we need here is we need a conditional statement to make sure that whenever our sidebar is visible, then the shadow will also be visible. But if the sidebar is invisible, then the shadow will also be invisible. So we need a conditional statement to achieve that. We're going to add if sidebar dot class list dot contains the class show sidebar. Then if the sidebar, this means that if the sidebar is visible, then let's sidebar shadow be also visible. So we're going to say dot class list dot add. Let's remove that comma. Then we're going to say dot add, and we're going to have show shadow. Next, we're going to add our second functional statement to make sure that if the sidebar is invisible, then the shadow itself will also be invisible. So down here, we just need to add, this does not look right, this is not correct. We need to remove this. And this is going to be inside the curly braces. Our conditional statement is supposed to have two brackets. Second bracket is going to be right here. Then we're going to have our condition right inside it. Next, we're going to have the second conditional statement, which is going to be else. And for the else, we need sidebar shadow dot class list dot remove show shadow. This else right here means that if the sidebar is not visible, then let the shadow itself not also be visible. We don't need this. So next, we're going to add our close function in order for us to be able to close the sidebar with the button and also with the windows. So next, for the close function, we are just going to create another function, and the name of the function here is going to be close sidebar. This is the function, and for the function, we're going to have some codes in here. And firstly, we're going to add sidebar dot class list dot remove show sidebar. This means that whenever we click on our close button and it triggers this event, then the sidebar's show sidebar class will be removed and the sidebar will become invisible. So next, we need windows dot style dot overlay y, and I'm going to set it to scroll. This is going to become scroll. This means whenever we close the sidebar, it will become possible to scroll on our website once more. Next, we need to set the shadow. We're going to remove the shadow whenever we close the sidebar. So we're going to say sidebar shadow, and here we need sidebar shadow, and I'm going to add sidebar shadow dot class list dot remove show shadow. This means that if the sidebar is removed, then the shadow will also be removed. And next, we're going to add the event listener to our close button. We just have to type in close btn dot add event listener, and the event listener here is also going to be click. Then next, we're going to add our function, and we're also going to use the function right here, and the function is going to be close sidebar. Now let's see what it looks like. As you can see, that works. This is just what we want for the close sidebar. And as you can see, it's not possible to scroll here, and we can also close the sidebar by clicking here on the windows. But the only problem here is that our shadow is not visible at all. Let's find out what the problem is with the shadow. So we're just going to copy the class and search for it to make sure it's available. As you can see, shadow overlay is not available. That is a problem. So for the shadow overlay, all we have to do, let's search for it in HTML. It's available right here. So let's style it next to the sidebar. There is a style right here that says sidebar overlay. That should be the function, sorry, the style we want. All you have to do is copy this and change it to shadow overlay. This is going to become sidebar overlay, and also change this to sidebar overlay, and that should work. But if you notice, there is a display none right here. What we have to do is get down to our media query and set it to display block on the smaller screen. So after our sidebar button appears, this is the sidebar toggle button. Right here, we're going to set this to display block, and that should work. As you can see, this works, but there seems to be a problem. It's not supposed to just be there like that. It's supposed to only be toggled when we click on this button. Okay, that is just what we want. As you can see, that works, and now everything works. This is just what we want, but we're not yet done. We still need to add our JavaScript for the checkbox. Let's go ahead and finish our JavaScript. The last thing we have here is for the checkbox. So for the checkbox, all we have to do is make sure that the two of them cannot be checked at the same time. So we're just going to define the class down here. Sorry, the ID. So here we need for by, which is our first checkbox. Then I'm going to say for by is equal to documents dot get element by ID. This is how we get the ID, and here we're just going to type in our ID. It's for by, and next we need the second ID, which is for rent. Just change this to for rent, and here we're going to have for rent. Down here we're going to have our conditional statements. A conditional statement is this condition that makes sure that the two of them cannot be checked at the same time. So here we're just going to type in for by, and we're going to have that add event listener. The event listener here is going to be change, and here we're going to have our arrow function, and in here we're going to have our conditional statement. The conditional statement is going to be if for by is checked. If for by is checked, just type in if for by dot checked. That is actually if for by is checked. Then let for rent dot checked be equal to false. This means that if for by is checked, then for rent will become unchecked. Then next we're going to add the second conditional statement. We don't need this. What we need is just create this one more time, and this time around we are going to need it for rent. Change this to for rent, and this is going to become for rent. Then down here we're going to have for by, and that is all we need. Let's go ahead and see what it does. As you can see, it's not still fixed. Two of them can still be checked at the same time, and that's a problem. Let's see what the problem is. This should work, but if it doesn't, we can just check the console and find out what the problem is. Let's check the console. Cannot read property of now reading at event listener, and here it says HTML input elements certain checked. This might mean that the problem is from HTML, so let's head over to our HTML and check out the check section. Let's see. This should be the problem right here. It's our ID. If you notice, the two of them have the same ID for buy and for buy. Just change the second ID to for rent, and that should fix it. Let's see. As you can see, this is just what we want. The two of them can no longer be checked at the same time. And that brings us to the end of our project. And if you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section below. See you guys in the next project. Goodbye.